Good afternoon. Excuse me. Thank you to the co-chairs and member states for this chance to share the perspective of the international trade union movement on the declaration, and happy to see that there is a fairly full room of member states here. Just a few general remarks on behalf of the Workers and Trade Unions Major Group, with some particular focus on the issue of the A word, or accountability, or the follow-up and review section of the declaration as it's indicated in the elements paper and now, I guess, discussion paper. So to begin, we believe we have an opportunity with the post-2015 agenda to boost policy coherence here between economic, social, and environmental policies, development promotion, the pursuit of decent work for all, and the realization of standards-based commitments in the areas of labor, environment, and human rights. And we would like to see the declaration reflect this. We also think the declaration should enshrine principles of mutual accountability, of democratic ownership, and of inclusive partnership, recognizing full participation of state and non-state actors. In review, we believe we can't shy away from honest assessments and should accurately report progress. This is the only way to generate the necessary behavior change to see commitments fulfilled. In this light, we think the declaration should recognize and promote the use of existing review and accountability mechanisms, especially those that are in some measure compulsory and not just voluntary in character. And the ILO supervisory mechanism is an excellent example in this regard and should be looked at. A standards-based accountability mechanism built on existing agreements is a minimum of what is needed to ensure broad accountability. Monitoring must therefore be rooted in the human rights-based approach and the right to development. And this is why, as the trade union movement, we have argued regularly that ILO labor standards and other human rights standards feature in all aspects of the agenda. So while follow-up and review must reflect global commitments and be tailored to national context, they must also apply universally agreed standards. The success of the framework, and in particular the mechanism for accountability, will depend on the capacity of the process at all levels to convene different actors on equal ground to contribute in a genuine and fully participatory manner to the review and implementation. In this light, I highlight the social dialogue, which brings together the social partners, employers and workers and organizations, as an excellent example of how ownership at the local level can improve policy process and should actually set an example of how the review processes are carried out. As His Excellency, the Ambassador of Benin has earlier and rightly alluded to, at national level, the presence of social dialogue is also critical for ensuring social cohesion, social peace, and is a forceful instrument for reconciliation and reconstruction. The type of accountability and review we want as civil society broadly is not without fundamental prerequisites or conditions. To have legitimacy and function effectively, respect for freedom of association, speech, and assembly are critical and non-negotiable. Governments must also have the institutional capacity to protect and respect these freedoms and support an inclusive review process. We hope the declaration reflects this. And finally, my last point, a vision underpinned by a holistic approach which defines the integration of development and human rights into a normative and compulsory framework would be both ambitious and effective. And the ILO framework and its standards-based tripartite accountability mechanisms constitute a long-standing example of how relevant and effective this can be. Thanks.